Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Boot Hill Sports Network. We are live. It's the Coach Dom Show, one night later than usual, and it is Thursday night. That is one night away, 24 hours away, actually, from homecoming. Coach Dom, Coach G, how are you doing?
I'm good. We're fired up. It's been a good week.
Well, that's great to hear. And I see you got a smiling face there right next to you. Who's this, the young man?
Introduce yourself, dang.
Rich McGraw, starting offensive lineman, defensive lineman, sophomore.
Well, Ridge, it's a pleasure to have you on the show, along with your coach. Coming off of a really big win for the Tigers this past week, as we start into the district points and district play. How big was that win for the Tigers?
It was a good momentum booster. It was good to put up a lot of points. I mean, we scored in every way possible, and we got rolling. Our offensive line was real good, and Brian threw the ball really well. So it was really a good week for us.
So you're over the 500 mark again. You're 4-3. 2 games left in the regular season. East Prairie tomorrow night, which is homecoming, and then the big battle of the Boot Hill. But like I said, after a win like that, do you feel like the momentum is completely in your sails?
East Prairie got a nice win too.
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
like they're feeling the ropes just like we are, and they're a sneaky team. I mean, their scheme's basic, but they're a good football team. But speaking for us, this was the best week of practice. Rich can attest to it, that we've had in a long time. It was a great week of practice. So we're fired up.
Well, see, I can say that, especially at this point in the season, a lot of times in the final 3 games, records don't mean anything going into it. It depends on what you do at the end of the season. I've heard a lot of great things about East Prairie.
Yeah, Dave Stalker's a heck of a head coach. They've got some talent. I don't know his name, but I think it's for number 5. He's a talented football player.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about, yeah.
He lit it up against Donovan, and it'll be a good game. It's homecoming, so we're going to have a little bit of a distraction. Good distraction, thankfully. The parade, and, Ridge is going to be a member of KISS, lip-syncing thing tomorrow. Well, he backed out. He's not fun. Well, see, here's the deal. I told them that when we did homecoming thing, my entire football team learned the Beyonce single lady dance. So there is video evidence out there, and I'm not going to give any hints on how to find it. But my entire high school football team do the single ladies.
I know. Unfortunately, I know exactly what you're talking about. So yes, all the single ladies. Quickly, it doesn't have to be quickly. Can you talk just a smidge about Jermonte Alexander's performance this past football game?
He's a beast.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking 3-4 people trying to tackle him. He scored on offense, scored on defense, scored on special teams. He produced almost 400 yards by himself. and I don't want to boost his big old head up anymore, but he had a heck of a game, and there was an article titled Alexander the quote great, and he proved that. I mean, he proved so far this season that he's one of the best football players in the area, and I'm proud of him.
That's such a great title. I haven't seen that, but Alexander the Great, probably going to have to use that in the broadcast tomorrow night. But since you don't want to boost his head up too much bigger than it is, I will. Monte, if you're watching, Monte, if you're watching, unbelievable game, and you are one of the best players, probably not just in the boot heel, but in the state.
Yeah, we're fortunate to have a few of them. I'm proud of the way he played. I'm proud of the way the kids played. And Monte, and as much as I joke about him having a big head, he's a really humble dude. And he really impressed me on how he handled the success. And he took a leadership role, a huge step leadership-wise this week, I think, by getting on guys and and holding guys accountable, which – usually after you have a big game like that, you're kind of cruising.
Right.
And he dropped 2 balls in practice on Tuesday, and he reached out and goes, "Coach, I had a bad practice." I was like, okay. Dropping 2 balls in practice, not a bad practice.
No. But that's the thing. That, like you said, you talk about just his mentality about the game. To him, that was a bad practice because he wants to be perfect, and he was darn near perfect last week.
Yeah, he really turned some heads. So I'm proud of him.
Yeah.
Daddy, right here. Did you right here?
Sorry, my 2-year-old just walked in.
No, hey, family first always.
Ridge, you remember when I coached you back when you were just a little youngster?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Bryce.
Daddy, right here.
Oh, well, you're doing a heck of a job on the field this year, man. I just got to say that, and it's a pleasure watching you out there. So we appreciate you on the show. Coach, I wanted to ask you, so now that you're 4-3, but you're more importantly 3-0 at home. Is there something different about it this year? Because I know we had a tough one last year as far as hockey field went.
Winning at home is great, man. It's awesome. Getting stuck at home last year kind of stuck in my craw all offseason.
Hey, Daddy.
When we had our board set up, which Ridge was actually got to see, our what can we do better board. One of it was we can't get skunked at home, and I think winning at home is a pride point. Like, it's our house. You're going to come to Caruthersville, and you're going to be in front of our fans. Like, it's really a great moment. Well, hello.
Hi, Coach. Did you say hi?
Hey.
Oh, Mommy called her.
Mommy.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Coach.
No, it's nice. It's nice being on the 3-0 side at home.
Oh yeah. Ridge, you feel the same way?
Yeah, it feels good to actually win games at home in high school, considering last year we didn't win any. But we had a tough home schedule last year for the most part.
No, I agree.
There's
But one thing,
few games we could have played better, but it happens.
one thing that I've noticed year in and year out, whether it's 0-5 at home, 0-4 at home, 3-0 at home, the Tiger fans are still going to be there. And now we got – go ahead.
Well, I'm telling you, the refs were like, well, how are your fans going to be tonight? And I'm like, well, they're going to be Caruthersville Tiger football fans, and this is why we sit on the away side. I was like, you better make some good calls or you're going to get John Boy and all them guys all fired up over there.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I'm not going to say name any names, but I know at least 5 that we'll light them up when they start making bad calls. So, homecoming. You actually mentioned it before I could about a distraction. Is there a distraction when you have the you said the parade, but the pregame show with the players on the field, and then they got to get ready and get right back into the game? Is there a distraction when it's homecoming?
Yeah.
It is a distraction.
It's not a bad distraction, like you said, but it's just one of those things where it can mess up the flow a little bit.
Right.
Hopefully it doesn't. And it shouldn't, but just dumb people.
So who's your hype man? Like who's getting you fired up before we get out there for homecoming?
Trey and Malachi. Trey and Malachi.
All right, I believe it.
And you can't beat Coach Tree's pregame speech. Pregame yell.
If I could get in there and listen to it just one time, I'd love it. But I always got to be up in the booth. You're gonna have to record it for me. If it weren't for the headphones, I probably could.
Well, I think the big thing for these guys is we're so routine based as a program. Like, you should see our schedule, and it's put in our group and post in the locker room. Like, it's down to the minute, and if they stick to it, we should be just fine. If we're sitting there putting on our war paint and fluffing our towels, it's going to become a distraction. Yeah.
So does that sound like a little bit of confidence going into this week?
Yeah, we got a nice. Ridge could probably attest, but I think we got a good little swagger to us. We're confident, but not arrogant. Confident.
I'm waiting on Ridge.
Yeah, I'm waiting on Ridge.
Coming off last week was definitely good. We had almost everything went good last week. There's always something to change, but a good week of practice, most physical in all season, but just having fun, like being at home and winning.
And these kids this week, we upped the ante a little bit with them in practice, and we're saying offensive line, we want 10 knockdowns. I told the quarterbacks that I don't want to see any more than 5 institutions, both 7-on-7 and 18. And then defense, our scout team shouldn't gain more than 20 yards. And scout team, I want a touchdown. And scout defense, we want a sack. And I think setting those goals for them this week really helped because, I mean, these kids, they went after it this week in practice and came out healthy, and it was pretty good for us. I mean, physicality in practice is huge, and we upped the ante a little bit, and it helped.
Not to make it sound too selfish, but how bad did you want the shutout? Because you only gave up 6 points, but that 6 points didn't come easy. So how bad did you want that shutout?
I mean, Coach Truce goes into every game with a goose egg in his mind. He wants it.
But you always got to throw Coach Truce. I'm asking you. I'm not asking Coach Truce. I'm asking you. How bad did you want the shutout?
Let's just say it like this.
Okay, here we go.
Every game we go out to win the game at all costs.
Right.
To me, in my mind, a shutout is just like icing on the cake, a cherry on top of the ice cream. It's always the goal, yes, but it's a supplementary goal to winning the football game, and that's head coach perspective. Like, look, things are going to happen. I mean, they matriculated a drive, and they only matriculated one drive.
That's right.
One drive.
Yep.
And we only ran 22 offensive plays. So, I want shutouts, yes, but my main focus is always just we got to be in the W. We have to have the W.
Well, see, and I kind of threw that out there, kind of just to jab at you a little bit, because all in all, the entire game, I went over the stats again and looked at everything and watched the video. That was a 100% team effort. It was offense, it was defense, it was special teams. Everything was working. It was clicking, and I thought it was possibly the best performance by the Tigers this year.
Yeah, and I mean, Malden was sloppy. Yes, we won by a big margin, but there was a lot of things we had to fix. And then the game against Kennett, there was a lot of errors. And the game against, naturally, the games that we lost, there was a lot to fix. But that was the most that team has clicked and jived all year. And we kind of hit our stride coming back home because, remember, that was our first home game since August 26th.
It's been a month. Yes, exactly.
I'm like, dang, man. So it was nice to see, and then to rebound from a win like that is huge. And what I mean by rebound is you get a win like that, you start feeling your oats a little bit. You're like, oh, okay. And these kids came, and their pads were popping, guys were yelling, jumping up and down, and even those little mini arguments that happen when the kids get, I didn't get pancakes, I tripped, and like that was our week. And I'm telling you, there were smiles all across the board from the coaches. We're like, this is good stuff. This is good stuff.
Well, I can tell you all the way, from the booth to the field to wherever, the energy was fantastic. I mean, it felt like like you said, everything was clicking. And I know everyone there that was in the stands enjoyed it. Everyone watching at home, listening at home enjoyed it. It was just a really good, well-played football game that was fun to watch and listen to.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing better than winning. Like, there's nothing better than being on the sideline and going, okay, I'm not going to go home and eat mini corn dogs in my bed because we lost.
Yeah. Okay, well, we all have our own vices, but now we know what yours is. So let me finish off the East Prairie conversation. Let's see here. East Prairie, they're coming off a win, a big 1-0 over Donovan, which I know Donovan has not been very strong the last couple of years. But have you seen much about them that shows you what you're looking for? That question goes for you too, Rich.
From my perspective, they're running that wing tee. They run it well. They're throwing the ball a little bit this year, which adds another element that we have a game plan for. And we actually have a coach on our staff that's well versed in wing tee from there, so he knows all about that. I'm not a wing tee guy, as you well know. I'm a spread guy, so the wing tee is like foreign language to me.
Right.
Like, I'm a spread, big play, jet sweep, throw fade type guy. But they took a huge step forward as a program from last year. And like I said, and I'm friends with Coach Stalker. Like, he's a great dude. We clinic on and off on the phone all summer about different things. And I know they're going to come in well coached and well prepared. But I think in the preparation aspect, where we have to prepare for a double wing, they have to prepare for a spread. So it's difficult for both of us because they're so completely different thought process. Those wing T guys are ride and die wing T.
Right.
Yeah, even I got Coach Metcalf's always like, oh, the wing T. I was like, shut up with that wing T stuff. And the kids laugh all the time. I'm like, what is even a wing T? But all jokes aside, they have to prepare for what we do. And it's cut from a different cloth in their offensive philosophy. So I know that both staffs have been, I downloaded their film to my phone, watching it, being it. Like, I didn't even want Wi-Fi interruptions in the film watching that I was doing this week. How about you, Andy?
Well, like, something we haven't seen really yet this year is teams that want to just run until they expect the run. And I feel like we prepared well and had good practices with it. Coach Treats didn't yell this week at us that I can remember really. which they all blend together for me. So it happens. But I feel like we prepared well and go out and do our thing, play Tiger football.
Did he tell you to say that?
No.
No, I don't believe you one bit, Coach.
No.
Is this something you hear a lot in practice and during games? Just play Tiger football?
Hear it on Wednesday night.
Oh, so this guy tunes in. Gotcha.
We were talking today when Dramonte had his interview, and we were talking as a staff, and one of the coaches goes, "Well, every head coach has got like their lines that they say, so they have like non-committal answers." And I was like, "Yeah, let's play Tiger football."
Yeah, exactly. That's why every time I say, without giving up too much, can you tell me what you're going to do Friday night? We're going to play Tiger football. That's all I get.
I mean, here's the deal. Like, at this point in the season, we've all seen each other enough film, and there's already enough film being traded that they already know what we're going to do, and we already know what they're going to do. And both of us are going to have a little surprise for each other here and there, but I'm still not going to – if Dave's watching, I'm not going to give him anything. He's got to work for it, just like I have to work for it.
And that's exactly why I always say, without giving up too much, just trying to tease the fans a little bit, like, what are you expecting? And I know exactly what you're going to say every time. You're going to say, well, we're going to go out there, we're going to spread the ball out, we're going to play hard on defense, and we're going to play Tiger football. That's what we're going to do.
I mean, I'll tell you what I'm expecting from East Prairie.
Okay, let them hear it.
I think that East Prairie is going to. They're going to run their base. They're going to run their base run plays that I've worked for them all year. They're going to try to hit us in the flats. I know they are. They're going to try to hit us with a pop pass. I know they are. They're going to try to hit us with a reverse. I know they are. And he's going to have something cooked up for us on defense that we haven't seen because he gave us a whole new defense last year than we saw on film. And what we're going to do is this week we spent a lot of time perfecting our offense. And we're going to run the plays that fit against their defensive scheme the best. And Joey spent a long time trying to figure out kind of how things fit together. And, I mean, when it comes down to it, and this is my stock answer, we have to control between the tackles on offense and defense. Like, we have to work to take away that inside run game. And they're going to try to work to take away our outside presence, like with the jet sweeps and the bubbles and stuff like that. And it's just going to come down to scheme and then coaching and then Jimmy's and Joe's, just like every football game.
And let me ask you this, just from a coaching perspective, say you're East Prairie and you watch the game from last week. How do you prepare for Sammy Bryant, Monte Alexander, Avion Moten, and all the other weapons, Ryan Guest with his arm? How do you prepare for that if you're East Prairie?
I don't know. I mean, I think you have if you're defensive game playing against us, you almost have to pick and choose. You either take away the C gap, which Kenneth tried to, or Kenneth did. You have to basically you have to look at kind of what gaps players were feeling good with that week, and then it's basically one of those situations where, with the Monte situation, the Sammy situation, the Abe situation, you have to kind of almost try to take away one of the weapons, and that's a game plan that you have against East or against New Madrid. Like, what do you want to do? Do you want to try to contain EJ, or do you want to try to contain Jadis, or do you want to stop the run game? Right. You can't do all three.
I mean, yeah, you can't do it all at the same time.
Yeah, and it's the same thing when we talk about them. Like, they run to the outside well. they're a good running football team. And this year they developed the pass game, so we have to look at what is going to be our main focus.
Nope. Hello.
It's in the middle, Oscar.
Jump on in, Oscar.
He's rolling.
So it's one of those things where you kind of have to, and that's every coach's thing when you play a team with multiple weapons, and it's the same thing with Kennett. Their quarterback is mobile. Their wide receivers are good athletes. I mean, they showed they were good athletes against us, and they definitely showed they were good athletes in that game against Dexter. We sat around and watched it on TV. So it's like one of those situations where in any defensive coordinator's mind, that's why, like, defense coordinators, like, in my opinion, the worst job in football. You got to pick and choose, and then you have to adapt to the scheme. Where offense, we're running this, and this stuff.
Well, if you're a defensive coordinator, every time someone scores, you get blamed for it, no matter what it is.
Yeah, I remember the wheel that Malden ran against us again, and they ran that wheel route. Sammy got sucked in. There was defensive back confusion. They scored their only touchdown of the game. I was like, "Coach Treese, what happened?"
Yeah.
He goes, "Dang, well, they got confused." And it's like one of those things where, but it's also the same thing in offense. You get stopped. I'm like, Joey, like,
what happened?
What happened? And it's not an accusatory thing. It's just like what can we do the next series to kind of fix it?
Right. Well, as I think as everyone has noticed, we have another player who's entered the screen. Would you like to introduce yourself? Because I'm pretty sure you might be the leading tackler on the team, but I don't have the stats in front of me.
Yes, sir. My name is Oscar Dominguez. I'm a junior.
All right. Well, you missed out on most of the conversation. Not sure why you're late, but that's okay. As long as coach is okay with it, I'm okay with it. But we've been talking about the season so far, 4-3, and heading into homecoming, and then the Battle of the Boot Heel. How do you feel against East Prairie, Oscar?
I feel like we're going to do good. We made adjustments on defense and a little bit on offense.
And from what I've heard, you guys have had a pretty good practice week.
Oh, yeah. He made a deal with us. And, like, for the O-line, if we get 10 knockdowns, then we don't have to do extra conditioning. We still have to do conditioning, but we don't have to do extra. Or, like, we have to get 4 picks on defense. And then defense also can't get more than 3 yards. Yeah.
Coach, is he revealing too much right now, or is that okay?
No, I mean, that was the plan.
Okay.
Like we took our goals, and we were like, okay, well, this is what our goals are going to be for this week, and we formed that out, and we're like, nobody likes to run, especially extra. Like, you don't like to run at all.
Are you trying to say that you don't like to run?
Yes.
I don't like making them run. There's a reason why I make the other coaches do conditioning, because I always feel bad. I do have a conscience, believe it or not.
Well, I believe it. I mean, I've met you. I've talked to you outside the studio and on the field and at the high school and everything. I know you got a conscience. I think you're a really good guy, but I feel like you might be putting too much running on these boys.
Oh, they're fine.
Yeah, that's the best thing you could have said. All right,
Look,
so
I'll
go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I was like, they got to play both ways.
Yeah.
I mean, they got to be in shape to play both ways.
Well, it's 48 minutes of pure contact, and there's the teams around here, and I've been covering sports around here for over 10 years. Sometimes they're down, but it seems like the last couple of years, teams around here are getting a lot better, a lot stronger, a lot more physical, and that includes Caruthersville. So you gotta stay up with the big boys. You got to stay in shape.
And I will give them this: nobody had to run into extra conditioning all week. They exceeded every goal.
That a kids, that a boys. We as fans appreciate that. So, you know what's coming down to, don't you, Coach?
Yeah.
how are we feeling about tomorrow night's game against East Prairie? It's homecoming. The guys are going to try not to be distracted, but are you going to be there to keep them on the field, keep their heads in the game? Or, I mean, what's the conversation going into tomorrow night's game after all the festivities?
We just got to follow the schedule. Be disciplined in what we're doing. Make sure we're going from place to place quick. Making sure we're being efficient, focused, and we've got guys in the homecoming court, so those guys got to pull double duty, and we've got guys in the band, so they got to pull double duty, and they're used to that. So I think what it really boils down to is I don't think the festivities are going to impact us that much. I think a lot of it's going to hype them up. I think if we keep them calm, cool, and collected as we go into the game, it'll be just fine. I know East Prairie's coming off a big win. We're coming off a big win at homecoming. Crowds, I mean, I sat in the office for 20 minutes today. 10 people came in to buy tickets. So it's going to be a game, and we're ready for it.
Yeah, I got a feeling it's going to be a packed house as usual. Not just because of homecoming, because of the team, and yes, baby, and just how much momentum you guys have going. Okay. But let me hear last thoughts from Ridge and Mr. Latesky, Oscar.
Anything about the game?
I mean, as long as we play how we've been playing in practice and do what we're supposed to do, I feel like we should be fine. It'll be our most physical game in a while since Dexter. And last week there was some pushing and shoving, but not as much as I feel like there'll be tomorrow night.
You're just looking for like a good, clean game.
I feel like that should be pretty well within grasp. I mean, things have been running smooth since last Thursday, and getting a 4-day weekend was real good.
Sorry, my daughter wanted to say hi.
I feel like we're going to do good against East Prairie personally. My main concern is they're going to try to run it down our throat, and then they're going to try to sneak a pass in. We have to be disciplined.
But you think they're going to focus mostly on the run, Oscar?
Yes, sir.
Well, then that's where you come in.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like you've been doing all season long. Well, guys, I don't want to keep you much longer. It's already past 8 o'clock. I know you've been working hard all week, and you got homecoming tomorrow. Lots of stuff going on. All I want to do is say thank you so much, Oscar. Thank you, Ridge, and Coach, once again, for doing the show with us, and we'll see you in just under 24 hours.
Did you see my dad's comment, Jeremy?
I did not. Oh, yeah, I just did. Yeah, she had to jump in. She's a little superstar. Thank you, Eliza. All right, guys. Good luck tomorrow night. I'll be there, be rooting for you, and I plan on it being a loud and proud crowd. And I got a good feeling about the homecoming win. And then, don't forget, Coach, Battle of the Boot Heel.
Yeah.
Right after that.
Just be prepared for next week for a couple of cheerleaders to join, since they've been ragging on me that they don't get to be on it. So.
Oh, that'd be fantastic. Anyone you want, and we'll bring some of the cheerleaders up here. That'd be great. So we won't even talk about Hayti until tomorrow around 10:15.
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right, Coach. Guys, thank you so much for joining us on the Boot Heel Sports Network. Everyone that's watching and listening, thank you. And, Coach and guys, good luck tomorrow night. We'll see you there.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.